इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। Franchise India, 20 years of ideas.
Good morning, friends, and welcome to Sunday morning webinar with Franchise India and BusinessX. I'm Gaurav Maria, Chairman of Franchise India. So, friends, this is a 25-minute webinar where we talk about a very, very sensitive subject, which is selling your business. If you want to sell your business, it's a very complex decision because it involves a lot of things, things which are financially related to you, related by your business, and also emotionally. So let me start with giving you a little bit introduction on Franchise India and BusinessX. Franchise India was started by me in 1999. This was India's first start your own business platform, which means anybody who wanted to start a business can come down to Franchise India's platform and choose the right opportunity. This was started to solve a problem because there was no company, no advisors, no consultants were available in India at that time, which can help you start your business. Even after 24 years, really asking outside Franchise India, there is no organization which helps you start your own business. Over the years, we have helped millions of entrepreneurs across India in making a very important decision what business they should start. This was done through our different companies, from media to exhibitions to forums to consulting, our advisory verticals. So all that have collectively given this kind of a performance over the years. And then we, about 9 years back, started another company called BusinessX. Now, BusinessX was started with another problem solving. And this time the problem was very unique. We wanted to help people who have running businesses, but they want to exit that business. Also to the ecosystem, which are investors who are looking to start a new business, but they don't want to start a new business from a scratch. They want to maybe take over a business which is already running. So both these communities were available, but there was no platform available. No platform for, especially for entry to mid-size M&A business, which is merger and acquisition. So if you want to, you were running a business and you want to really sell that business, there was no platform available. And also from the investors who are looking to take on their new business. And especially now with this whole COVID behind us, a lot of people want to really change and really work on consolidating their positions. I know a lot of business owners are thinking that how they can really maybe exit from some of the businesses which they don't want to really continue, or something which is not very strategic for them, or they want to really reduce their liabilities. So what are we going to cover in this webinar today? We're going to cover about a very, very important topic that if you are looking to sell your business, how you should go about it. But before we even go into that situation, let's understand why people sell their business. And this is very important. Ultimately, I've seen that business owners would have to eventually pass the baton. I mean, they have two choices. One, they can give it to somebody within their family, which means that, like a lot of traditional businesses do, that they pass it on to their family members to take on the business. Or they would like to look at somebody up from an outside who would take over that business. But eventually, every business owner sooner or later would have to pass the baton to somebody else. And if it is very structured and very planned, then you get better results of that transformation. That you are having a right kind of transformation from your ownership to somebody else running and operating the business. Why people sell the business? There are many reasons why the people sell the business, and we at BusinessX get various kinds of people have different kind of issues and reasons for them to choose to sell their business. But one of them very clearly is if you're not doing well. Not doing well has also, a big complexity. Sometimes you feel like that you're surviving, but you're still not doing well in the business, or you're not finding a growth in that business, or you're sitting on a lot of liabilities in the business. You're just running hard to pay the liabilities. I know a lot of business owners who have taken loans and running their businesses. They just work hard to service that responsibility. There is no growth in the business. There is no, further structures. They are not even able to get right dividends from the business because all the money is being eaten by the kind of liabilities they built, and liabilities keep mounting up, and they still continue to run the business. I know a lot of businesses which are just being plateaued. They're not able to grow because they don't have enough working capital or the kind of growth capital they need to grow the business. And I also know that a lot of people are losing a little bit of money, but they continue to think that this might be end of tunnel. They would start reviving that business, and it doesn't happen. It becomes too late that the entire value is eroded. And that's why we see a lot of businesses after struggle, they actually shut the business itself, which means that they are not able to find the right buyer at the right time, and they have to shut the business. The entire value is eroded. So every time a business owner really is at this situation, he has to or she has to decide that this might be a moment that they need to really go out and find the right buyer. So that's one reason why people sell the business. Another reason is that you want to sell the business for profit. You're doing well. That's very, very good situation to be in. If you're profitable, you have peaked out, you've done well, and now you really want to sell the business. Third can be reason that you have a huge competition rising up in your business model, and there is no way you can compete with them. And so you want to really consolidate. There can be other reasons of partner split. Partners are not doing well with each other. They want to split the business. There can be many other reasons. Another reason is succession now. Succession is becoming a very big reason, which means that you don't see your children running that business. Like one of the companies we are advising has their children become taken and become doctors, and they don't want to really come back to their traditional distribution business and so on and so forth. So a lot of times, any of these reasons really come in, people want to sell the business. Sometimes it's operational issue. You are not operationally able to manage the business. People build businesses in different kind of geographical markets, and sometimes because of control, maybe issues of overlooking the business, you want to exit that business. Any of these reasons can be the triggering point to you to think through that you want to sell the business. And if you have that, you have three choices. One, you do it at the right time with the right consultant and get the right valuation. Second, you take a haircut valuation, go out and sell a desperate deal. Third, you're not able to get the first two, you're able to go through the liquidation process, which means that whatever is there as assets, you liquidate and move forward. Ideally, one has to decide that what is the foundational goal. When you are really looking at selling the business, what is the foundational goal you have? Foundational goal to me are two. One is that you want to be finding it financial freedom for yourself. Financial freedom is very, very important. I always say that starting a business is anybody can do that, but actually making sense out of that business, making value and finding the right exit really completes the full cycle. If you are not able to do the full cycle, you're not a successful entrepreneur. So you need to really know when to start a business, at what stage you need to build value, and what stage you want to exit. And that's how smart entrepreneurs are doing these days. Just now I read in the morning a news of a gym company. I met them when they were starting in Pune, and they're very, very early startup, multifunctional gym. And today I saw news that they were acquired by another big company, and they got a decent valuation of that. And I've seen the journey of this company just in 5 years, how they built it up and how they were able to do that. This is how smart entrepreneurs are doing. So whenever you're looking at selling your business, the timing is very, very critical. Timing is very, very critical. And also a couple of other things which are very important for you to understand is, are you looking for a complete sellout, or you are looking for a partial sellout? That's also a very big decision. Sometimes We try to do a partial because you want to take the full value when the business goes up. So which means sometimes we structure deals like these that we get some kind of a large partner coming in, one giving you some form of exit, so you are able to take on some capital out, and second capitalizes the company for next level of growth with a pre-agreed structure that in 3 to 4 years the balance shares of which you are lying in business, they would acquire at a different valuation structure as the business moves to the next level. So these are also structures which we create. But sometimes you need not so much of capital, but you're looking for somebody to be operationally involved with you, which means that this capital is not so much of worry, but actually operational partner is more important because you need somebody to come in. So we need to really define what are you looking at. You're looking at complete sellout, or you're looking at a partial sellout, raising capital, or you're looking for an operational partner. Once that is decided, then we need to really get on to defining who can be the right buyer. And is it going to be somebody strategic who has experience in your industry, which means that it comes within your ecosystem, or somebody who is a pure play financial investors? I have over the time realized, especially in small to mid-sized businesses, strategic are very good when business is not performing and you are able to turn around that because somebody comes with that experience. But if your business is extremely performing at a good EBITDA, then maybe a financial investor makes more valuation case than the strategic investor. Once we have decided that, we have decided what we want to do, we have decided who can be the right buyer, a very important question really comes in. Actually, there are three things which are very important to address at that stage. One is the valuation. How do you really determine the valuation of the business? And most of the private businesses don't know their value. They know what they've invested. So they will know everything what they've invested, but they don't know what value they have created. And this is very complex. And it also is a very big difference in expectation. Like recently, one business came to me and just doing about 4.5 crores of top line and a very small bottom line because they take a lot of salaries out of the business. And the business was only 15 to 20 lakh rupees of bottom line. And I asked him, what is their expectation? And he told me that I want 15 times top line valuation. And how does number came up and how he really saw that and why he chose to do this in piece. So these are some unrealistic valuations which people expect. Look, whenever you are, sometimes people are reading a lot in these days from the newspaper and a lot of other platforms where you read about the valuations these startups are getting. There is a difference when you're raising money. When you're raising money, you discount future projections of the business and discount on that, and the valuation is determined on a maybe DCF principle, and then you are able to put much higher valuation for the business. But when you're exiting the business, your current balance sheet would play the only role which needs to be done. So which means that where your business is today, that is the only valuation case it can really come out to be. So these are very important aspect because sometimes we correlate with the valuations people are raising in the same industry, but they are building the business and discounting the future of the business, which means that I'm selling at a 4 to 5 year valuation from today and selling to investors that they can come in part of that growth cycle. But when I'm exiting the business, I'm exiting today. So business is going to be done by the future owner and they're going to bring by things. So the valuations would significantly change in the structure. I have a particular principle over the years, I've used it called SAS Principle, SAS Principle. I always look at a business and find its strategic value. First, S stands for the strategic value. Then I go into finding out assets which are there, which both can be tangible, intangible assets. And third to me is very, very critical is the subscriber value. How many customers are consuming from you and how frequently is it growing? Is the spend growing on you? All that are very important aspects. On that piece, we define what is going to be our inherent value to the business model. And apart from valuation alone, there are a lot of other things which are very important, which are about the continuity of business. So valuation is one part. Valuation is very critical. We do a detailed valuation, but we also have to really see that when a new buyer looks at it, is looking for the continuity and predictability of the business. So we need to then define who's the leadership structure if you're not going to be there. Because look, the business owner who's selling the business is going out of the business, which means that what is going to happen with that, what impact it is going to create, how the continuity of the business would mean. Continuity of business would mean that how good your team is, how you're financially structured, how transparent your business is, how it is easy for somebody new to come and take over that business and find the control, how your relationship with your vendors, suppliers, and customers, stakeholders, employees, all that is defined and structured. So these are two very important aspects. Whenever we are looking at a transaction, I will always put a lot of focus on valuation, but more focus on showing the continuity of business, because this to me is the make or break part. Valuation can still be agreed upon and still can be negotiated, but this is non-negotiable. This is absolutely non-negotiable. People don't want to be getting into any business which looks very complex, cannot manage. So to me, whenever I want to really look at a business or asset to manage, take a mandate on, I will look at the realistic valuation. Realistic valuation will mean that you always have what I call must-have kind of a structure, which means that nothing less than that a business seller would like to sell. And then you have a nice to have. And somewhere in between, there is a realistic valuation. So that's what to me is a target goal for valuation. But very importantly, is the importance of continuity of business, how the business is going to be running, and further on that. But once we have done that, then there are a few things which are very important. And sometimes, the business sellers prepare decks and send you information to me. And this information is all about their past, how they did, what they did, and so on and so forth. The 5 things which I have realized, which are very, very important for anybody to look at it whenever they are selling businesses, is first is how the business is designed, which means that it can run without the entrepreneur or the business seller who is selling that. The business can run without. This means that you are redundant in your own business, which means that business owner is not required in his business. If I'm able to define that the business is running on processes, systems, and no more requires the earlier owner to be part of it. Anybody can take over and drive the business. That really puts in the first case of showing the ease of doing the business. The second case, to me, is equally important, is showing the future. Future is important, past is not at all important. Whatever you've done in past can only show some kind of a predictability of future. So how do we really show the future? That's very, very important. What is going to happen quarter by quarter in next 5 years? That's very, very important. Then third thing, which is very clearly to me is very exciting, is recurring revenues. Is there a recurring revenues or contracts or predictable revenues which are going to be coming in the business model? That's also very important. Fourth, to me, is what I call the unlock value. There is every business has some unlock value which you're not exploited, which a new buyer can really look at doing it, which means it can add new products, it can reach new markets, it can do anything. It can be even real estate. Anything which can be part of that unlock value, which sits in your business model. I was representing a college to sell that, and the college was not performing because the category was overcrowded, but they had a 5-acre land within the campus, which can be used for a K-12 school. School was very exciting. There was no land available in that region, but this college was not very attractive. So when we approached the business model, we took the unlock value more, because that 5-acre land can be parcel out and created another school, which can really turn around the whole educational piece which they were running. So sometimes you need to really see what is the unlock value which is available. And the final thing is fifth is, to me, any kind of IP. IP has become very important. Any kind of intellectual property you build in the business model also will become a very, very important part of it. So friend, this is a cycle which you need to do. Once we as a BusinessX and our consultants start working on that, we clearly define this. This takes about 30 to 45 days to really define and produce what I call information memorandum, and also a detailed valuation document. Once that is done, then we take it to the market, clearly defined target groups, who are the target groups which we need to hit, and then go out and filter down and select the right people. All that is done in confidentially, which means that we don't disclose any information unless a very qualified prospect is presented. And when a very qualified prospect is presented, we would also see their financial capabilities to really go out and commit to this new business. Also work on a lot of timelines. Sometimes you have a good investor, but timelines are not matching us, because you have to be very, very clear at what stage you're looking to exit. It's also very important that you decide, whenever you decide to sell the business, your timing is right. Timing for the industry, timing for you to decide that you want an exit, because sometimes some business owners are at the last stage where they have left with no working capital and no more cash to be brought in from their side to run that business. And if the business is not funded for the next couple of months, the business would go out of hand. At that stage, it's very, very critical that you quickly decide that you want to really go out and find the right buyer. So friends, this was a webinar today, which I wanted to share. I have my colleague Sumit on the call. He will reach out to all of you who are there in this call and to share more information, and also to understand if we at BusinessX can help you. I'm also putting my direct number. It's 98102-44330. Please send me a WhatsApp, a small WhatsApp on your profile and your business. And if I understand your business well, then I will set up a detailed call with you, maybe a 30-minute call to understand your business more. And if we feel that there is a merit that we can bring in, and there is a value which we can bring in, add both in terms of selling your business or raising capital for you, then we will work on your mandate. So friends, thank you very much for joining on this Sunday morning. And I will also put my direct email ID. gm@gauravmaria.com. Thank you very much. Thanks for taking time out, and really appreciate you taking time out on Sunday morning.